जी नमस्कार, स्वागत है आपका आपके प्लेटफॉर्म पे। डॉक्टर जे के तिवारी हियर ऑन योर प्लेटफॉर्म द इंगम। Your class has started. Do join fast and let's begin with the beginning of the romanticism as we promised yesterday कि आज की क्लास आपकी कहाँ से शुरू होगी? बिगिनिंग ऑफ रोमांटिसिज्म, the philosophers and philosophy behind the romantic age. Because romantic age was a revolutionary age, it was a revolt against the preceding century. It was a revolt against the preceding century. So what were the causes behind the revolution? As you know that revolution doesn't occur on a single day, right? Single day में नहीं होता, it takes time. तो जो टेक्स टाइम वाला मामला है, कौन कौन था इसके पीछे? Who were the philosophers behind the romanticism? Right, the main essence of neoclassicism was attacked by the romantic poets, by the romantic writers, as you know. Right, the main essence of the neoclassicism was artificiality, was to follow the fixed pattern, was restraint, and romantics believed in liberty. Romantic believed in the lap of nature, and romantics believed in ocean passion and yearning for the past. Romantics believed in medieval period rather than in classical period. And why did they do so? Why did they do so? For the romantics, child is the father of man. Why not man is the father of man? Why not grandfather is the father of man? Why child is the father? What is the symbol of child? What does Mr. Wordsworth want to symbolize through the image, through the picture of right? These things will be discussed in today's session. So be attentive, be careful, right? Do not use your pen while listening to the lecture. Once the lecture is completed, then rewind the video. वीडियो को रिवाइंड करिएगा और फिर अपने पेन उठा करके अपने नोट्स बनाइएगा। द बिगिनिंग ऑफ रोमांटिसिज्म पर हम आते हैं। इफ यू हैव एनी डाउट, एनी क्वेरी रिगार्डिंग द प्रीवियस क्लास, regarding the yesterday's class, you could raise your query, you could raise your question, and I will try to satisfy you. I will try to answer your questions, and then I will proceed with today's session. Yes, अजय, आशवी, चेतना, शशि, whosoever have joined, सभी को राम राम है, सभी को राम राम है। शाम वाली सभी का स्वागत है, सबका वेलकम है। यस, कम ऑन, कम ऑन। Here on your screen you have an image, you have a picture, and this picture is of a philosopher. Shashi, let me come to the chapter of fancy and imagination, and I will definitely let you know. Yesterday you had asked the same question, but I parried. But today once again you asked, so it is my responsibility. फैंसी एंड इमेजिनेशन का भी नंबर आएगा, वो भी चैप्टर आएगा और वो भी क्लियर करूंगा, डोंट वरी। बट अभी हम पोएट्स पर नहीं, अभी रोमांटिक क्रिटिक्स पर नहीं, philosophers of romanticism पर है। So you will have to keep patience for a few more classes, right? Can you say, can you guess who is this man? This man was one of the greatest philosophers of 18th, and he is the starter, he is the beginner of the romantic age, you could say. He had written a book in the mid of the 18th century. In the mid of the 18th century, he wrote a book and he emphasized the concept of sublime. I hope you still remember the concept of sublime given by Longinus and thought, grandeur of thought, capacity for strong emotion, right? Two innate qualities of sublime and three qualities, three characteristics of sublime that could be achieved, that could be mastered, that could be accomplished. Proper use of words, proper use of figure of speech, dignity of composition, these two could be. Right, so this man, his name was Edmund Burke. What was his name? His name was Edmund Burke. And in 1757, He wrote a treatise, a philosophical inquiry into the origin of our ideas of the sublime and beautiful. A philosophical inquiry into the origin of our ideas of the sublime and beautiful. This was a book, this was a work written by Edmund Burke in 1757, and that was the climax of 18th century, fifth decade of 18th century. 18th century is known as the age of prose and reason. And during the mid of 18th century, Edmund Burke was talking about sublimity. He was talking about what is sublimity. Sublimity means elevation. He was talking about elevation of the soul. He was talking about the elevation of the language, elevation of the thought. He was talking about the elevation of emotion, and he was talking about the beautiful. Sublime and beautiful की बात कर रहे थे. It was an essay on aesthetics showing that a thing is sublime or beautiful because it soothes our nerves or refreshes and relaxes our. What is sublime? How could you say कि कोई चीज sublime हो गई है? How could you say कि कोई चीज beautiful है? जो beautiful है, जो sublime है, उसको देखते ही एक अलग टाइप का एहसास होता है, फ्रेशनेस का एहसास होता है, प्लेजर का एहसास होता है, टायर्डनेस से, एग्जॉशन से हम उबर जाते हैं. वो सबलाइम है, वो ब्यूटीफुल है. राइट, सबलाइम और ब्यूटीफुल because it soothes our nerves or refreshes and relaxes our spirit. हमारे स्पिरिट को रिलैक्स करती है, राइट, हमारे स्पिरिट को सूद करती है. It discusses the attraction of the grotesque. Right? हम attract की तरफ होते हैं. That is strange. That is grotesque. That is not on the proper line, but that is a bit moved from the line. वो grotesque है. The terrible and uncontrollable. Right? Uncontrollable, terrible, and grotesque. Uncontrollable, terrible, and grotesque. These three elements create sublime, right? They create sublimity and they create beautifulness, right? And these three things soothes our tired mind, soothes our exhausted mind. Right, ये vocab की क्लास नहीं है अजय जी, and you are going to be a teacher of English, so at least you should try to understand the lecture in English. And I am not speaking French or Latin. I am not speaking. I am speaking very simple English. And a student of PGT, a student of UGC NET is not supposed to say कि इस हिंदी में लेक्चर दीजिए. राइट, वो फैक्ट्स रट लीजिए, फिर आपका सिलेक्शन हो जाएगा. फिर आपको इतने फिलोसॉफिकल कंसेप्ट में डेल्व करने की, गोते खाने की, गोते लगाने की कोई जरूरत नहीं है. वो नोट्स आपको मिलेगा फैक्ट वाला, वही रट लीजिएगा एंड यू विल बिकम ब्यूटीफुल. स्टिल यू आर ग्रोटेस्क. He discusses the attraction of the grotesque, the terrible and the uncontrollable. यूजीसी नेट में जब जाओगे 4 स्टेटमेंट 6 स्टेटमेंट्स दिया होता है और 6 स्टेटमेंट से पूछ लेता है कि विच ऑफ द फॉलोइंग आर ट्रू, तो 2 या 3 ट्रू होंगे, रेस्ट अनट्रू होंगे और फिर आपको फाइंड आउट करना पड़ेगा. राइट, ग्रोटेस्क का मतलब होता है स्ट्रेंज. एडमंड बर्क proposes that beauty stimulates. ब्यूटी क्या काम करती है? ब्यूटी स्टिमुलेट करती है लव को. बट दैट द सबलाइम एक्साइट्स हॉरर. राइट, सबलाइम क्या काम करती है? सबलाइम एक्साइट्स हॉरर. व्हाइल ब्यूटी रिलैक्सेस, द सबलाइम ब्रिंग्स टेंशन. ये डिफरेंस है सबलाइम में और ब्यूटीफुल में. क्या डिफरेंस है? हाँ, ब्यूटी स्टिमुलेट्स लव. स्टेटमेंट नंबर 1, sublime excites horror, beauty relaxes, and sublime gives tension, it brings tension. The feeling that something is sublime is triggered by extremes. कोई चीज sublime है ये कैसे पता चलेगा? It is triggered by extremes. Vastness, extreme height, difficulty, darkness, excessive light. These are the elements of Gothic novels, right? Gothic stories और Gothic stories जिनको mystery novels भी कहते हैं, जिनको horror and terror novels भी कहते हैं, वो horror and terror जो है वो सबलाइम है, जैसा कि बर्क डिफाइन करते हैं, और बर्क के इस वर्क के बाद ही गोथिक नॉवेल्स आना शुरू हुई थी. राइट, सबलाइम का मतलब होता है टू अचीव द हायर स्टेटस, टू अचीव द हायर स्टेटस, टू बी एलिवेटेड, राइट, टू गो टू द टॉप, टॉप पर जाना, हाइट पर चले जाना, उसको बोलते हैं सबलाइम होना. राइट, दो चीजें, ब्यूटी and sublime. What does beauty do? Beauty stimulates love. What does sublime do? Sublime excites horror. What does beauty do? Beauty relaxes. What does sublime do? Sublime provides tension. Sublime is tension. Right? The feeling that something is sublime is triggered by extremes. Sublime का मतलब elevated, हाइट तो अपने आप एक्सट्रीम होगा. एक्सट्रीम किसका? वास्टनेस. एक्सट्रीम हाइट, एक्सट्रीम डिफिकल्टी, एक्सट्रीम डार्कनेस, excess of light, everything in excess is sublime. Right? Everything in excess is sublime. Edmund Burke uses the phrase delightful horror. Delightful horror ये अपने आप ही पैराडॉक्सिकल है, ऑक्सीमोरन है. What is delightful as well as horror? हॉरर मूवीज देखते हैं, डिलाइट भी होती है और डर भी होता है. राज, डिलाइटफुल हॉरर. गोथिक फिक्शंस डिलाइटफुल हॉरर है. एडमंड बर्क coined the phrase delightful horror to describe the, इसको डिस्क्राइब करने के लिए, the truest test of the sublime. सबलाइम का जो ट्रू टेस्ट है ना, वो कहां से आते हैं? सबलाइम का ट्रू टेस्ट कम्स थ्रू डिलाइटफुल हॉरर. राइट, उन्माद का जो डर है, उन्मादी डर जो है वो डिलाइटफुल हॉरर है. और वहीं से क्या आता है? वहीं से आता है डिलाइटफुल हॉरर से क्या आता है? सबलाइम. ट्रू सेंस ऑफ सबलाइम. डिलाइट फॉर बर्क. व्हाट इज डिलाइट? Delight is the removal of pain when we realize that horror portrayed in the arts is fictional. This allows us to experience pleasure. जब हमको ये पता चलता है जो हम मूवी देख रहे हैं, जो हॉरर देख रहे हैं, या जो हम हॉरर पढ़ रहे हैं, ये फिक्शनल है, तो हमें क्या मिलता है उससे? That is delight. That is delightful horror. Delightful horror is right. Delightful horror is the sublimity. Edmund Burke is known for his difference between beautiful and sublime. Edmund Burke is known for his magnum opus essay that published in 1757, and the name of the essay, A Philosophical Inquiry into the Origin of Our Ideas of the Sublime and Beautiful. Right, philosophical inquiry into the origin of our ideas of the sublime and beautiful. Then he talks about the differences between sublime and beautiful, and sublime and beautiful both are the essential parts of romanticism. Then he talks about delightful horror, he talks about the beauty, he talks about the pleasure gained through fictional stories, right? That creates horror, that creates extreme in every sense. A philosophical inquiry into the origin of our lives of the sublime and beautiful. Clear? The sublime for Burke is the productive of the strongest emotion which the mind is capable of feeling. Mind इस फीलिंग को कैप्चर कर पाता है, माइंड जिस फीलिंग को कैप्चर कर पाता है, इस फीलिंग को, वो सबलाइम है. सबलाइम इज प्रोडक्टिव ऑफ द स्ट्रॉन्गेस्ट इमोशंस. स्ट्रॉन्गेस्ट इमोशन सबलाइम से आते हैं, which the mind is capable of feeling. Terror, emotion, feeling. All these represent a break from the intellectual rigors of the Augustan age. Right? Augustan age में तो everything was intellectual. वो intellectual की पोएट्री है, और यहाँ पर intellectual पोएट्री से हट करके टेरर, सबलाइम, फीलिंग और इमोशंस की बात होती है, and are in one sense a reaction against the new pressures of society and bourgeois culture. Right? Sahiba Tarannum, you have joined the class, then keep on joining, because you don't think that PGT examination is going to be as much easy as you think. Right? Questions from higher level are also asked. And suppose that two questions have come from आउट ऑफ योर सिलेबस, द प्रिस्क्राइब्ड राइटर, फिर आप क्या करोगे? और ऐसे जगह से क्वेश्चंस आते हैं और हर साल आते हैं. तो एडमंड बर्क डिफाइंस sublime. Edmund Burke defines sublime as delightful horror, and sublime is the source of, sublime is the productive of the strongest emotion which the mind is capable of feeling. Mind is capable of feeling. Terror, emotions, feelings, passions, these things were far away from the from the neoclassicals, and sublime talks about all these things. So the concept of sublime and Edmund Burke made a break, right? एक break करते हैं वहां से. किसको break करते हैं? Rules and regulations of the 18th century के, right? So this was all about sublime, जिसकी बात करते हैं Mr. Burke, right? And next philosopher after Burke comes Rousseau. Now Jacques Rousseau, born in the 18th century, 1712, and died in 1770. Rousseau was one of the world's best philosophers. Best philosophers के लिए जाने जाते हैं, and especially he is known for his book Social Contract, and he is known for his precept Back to Nature. Back to nature means the society of the time has become so artificial, it has become so against nature. Rousseau had to proclaim, had to announce the precept back to nature. नेचर की तरफ वापस चलना है. बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट कंसेप्ट है ये, सबके लिए सारे पेपर में क्वेश्चन आ चुका है. बैक टू नेचर का कंसेप्ट जो है वो रूसो का है. एन एंटायर रोमांटिक एज, entire romantic literature is a literature of back to nature. From the urban society, from the industrial society, from the bourgeois society, from the society of class conflict, from the society of men-women conflict, Rousseau says that we should go back to the nature. Go back to nature का मतलब क्या है? We should go back to the original status of human being. Original state of human being. We were born natural, we have become artificial, और हमने artificial को लाद लिया है अपने ऊपर. We should throw such artificial ornaments and go back to nature. We should go to the rivers, we should go to the birds, we should go to the mountains, we should go to the valleys, we should go to the hills, we should go to our passion, we should chase our passion, our emotion. We should be social, we should be intellectual, but intellectually social हमको होना चाहिए. ये सारी बातें रूसो करता है बैक टू नेचर में. Clear? And Social Contract was the book that starts with the very famous line, man is born free, but everywhere he can. Man is born free because when he was born, he was in the naturalist. As the time passes, the man becomes the victim of the society, and it is the society that corrupts, us, जो हमको करप्ट करती है, राइट, हमको करप्ट करने का काम सोसाइटी का है, इसलिए लेट्स गो back to nature so that we could remain uncorrupted, we could remain undefiled, हम undefiled रह जाएं, right? French philosopher and thinker who was born in Geneva, Switzerland, considered to be one of the most influential philosophers and thinkers of the 18th century, and his ideas mark the end of the age of reason, mark the end of the 18th century age and the beginning of the romantic era. Forerunner of romanticism and promoted the ideas of the return to nature, the natural law, the noble savage, and the importance of natural education. He talks about return to nature. Return to nature, back to nature. He talks about the noble savage. Noble savage. And he talks about the importance of natural education rather than artificial education imparted by the school, imparted by the books, but in fact he talks about natural state. Right, natural status की बात करते हैं, right, go back to nature की बात करते हैं, and according to Rousseau, nature is the essential part. We cannot live without nature. We cannot do away with nature. Right, these are the works by Mr. Rousseau. His novels, New Heloise, Emily, Social Contract, and Confessions. Confessions was his autobiography. Confessions was his autobiography. Autobiography. Social Contract is his philosophical inquiry. A philosophical book here, and these two, New Heloise and Emily, these two are novels by Rousseau. ये रूसो की novels है, right? So note down the names of these books: New Heloise, Emily, Social Contract, and the Confessions. These are the important books of Rousseau. Rousseau की ये important books हैं that he wrote before the starting of the Romantic age. Right, now I give you an assignment. You have to search the subtitles of the two books. Right, subtitle of these two books. In fact, here we are talking about the philosophers and philosophies of Romantic age. So we are not going to discuss these two novels here, right? The only concern here for us is his book, The Social Contract, and his Precept Back to Nature, right? यहीं पर ये दो कॉन्सेप्ट है. ये एक का तो यहीं पर लिखा हुआ है, Julie or the New Heloise. This is the book. Julie or the New Heloise. This is the subtitle of the book, right? और Emily की आपको ढूंढना है. Social Contract. What is the social contract? Man is born free, but everywhere he is in chains. Opening sentence of Rousseau's Back to Nature. Right, Rousseau की book Back to Nature का ये opening sentence है. Man is born free, but everywhere he पैदा होता है स्वतंत्र और हर जगह होता है परतंत्र, हर जगह होता है. और यही स्टेटमेंट फ्रेंच रिवॉल्यूशन का सबसे बड़ा रीजन बना. राइट, रूसो shows us that there is a way to break the chains. And how could you break the chain? You could break the chain from within. खुद से आपको तोड़ना है थ्रू द कंसेप्ट ऑफ जनरल विल. Rousseau believed that alienation of man could transform itself into मैन का जो अकेलापन है, एलियनेशन है, इट कैन बी ट्रांसफॉर्म्ड इनटू फ्रीडम. मैन इज बॉर्न फ्री बट एवरीवेयर ही. हु हैज केप्ट मैन इन. किसने रखा है? कौन बताए? हु हैज केप्ट. किसने केप्ट कर लिया है इंसान को? वो बॉर्न तो फ्री हुआ था बट वो चेन में. चैन किसने पहना दिए उसको? चेन का मतलब क्या है? मैन इज बॉर्न फ्री बट एवरीवेयर ही इज इन चेन्स. चेन्स का मतलब he is in the rules. रूल्स के अंदर है. राइट. आप ऐसे कपड़े नहीं पहन सकते, आप ऐसे खाना नहीं खा सकते, आप ऐसे बात नहीं कर सकते. तुम ऐसा कैसे सोच सकते हो? ये तो बिल्कुल सोशल नॉर्म के खिलाफ है. तुम तो बिल्कुल बोहेमियन बन गए हो. ये फार्मूले किसने बनाए हैं? ये फार्मूले सोसाइटी ने बनाए हैं. यस, ये फार्मूले सोसाइटी ने बनाए हैं. और जब बॉर्न हुआ था तो वो फ्री था. और ये जो रूल्स उसको दे दिए गए ना, ये रूल्स उसके लिए चेन का काम करते हैं. एंड ही इज इन चेन एवरीवेयर. हर जगह वो जंजीरों में है, हर जगह वो चेन्स में है. वो कभी किसी का भाई है तो कभी किसी का पापा है, तो किसी का हस्बैंड है, किसी का बेटा है, तो किसी का अंकल है, किसी का नेफ्यू है. अलग अलग रूल्स किसने दिए? सोसाइटी ने उसको बांध करके रखा है. नहीं तो मैन तो. और जब थॉमस लपीकॉक ने अपना ऐसे लिखा द 4 एजेस ऑफ पोएट्री, तो उसने इस पॉइंट को बहुत टारगेट किया था कि दुनिया एडवांसमेंट की तरफ चल रही है. और ये जो रोमांटिक पोएट्स है ना, ये एडवांसमेंट की तरफ नहीं, ये तो बैकवर्ड हो रहे हैं. ये अनसिविलाइज्ड दुनिया की तरफ जा रहे हैं. तो इन अ वे रोमांटिक एज जो है, it is a world of uncivilized people, because it is the world of common man, it is the world of simple man, it is the world of simplicity, it is the world of commonality, not common sense. ये बैक टू नेचर का प्रिसेप्ट है, ये चेन्स का प्रिसेप्ट है. मैन फ्री होता है, चेन में होता है. और जब वो चेन में होता है ना, तो धीरे धीरे वो एलियनेशन में चला जाता है. एंड रूसो सेज दैट एलियनेशन इज द रूट ऑफ लिबरेशन. एलियनेशन ही लिबरेशन का रूल है. राइट. ये आलिया, चैन नहीं रहेगा सोसाइटी में. सोसाइटी में तुम्हारे तो और ही ज्यादा चेन है. अब आपको नकाब पहनना है, अब आपको बुर्का पहनना है, अब आपको ये और अब आपको वो. नहीं तो लोग क्या कहेंगे? जो लोग के कहने वाला फंडा है ना, यही चेन है. राइट. ये लोग को कहने वाला फंडा चेन है. तो सेवेज, नोबल सेवेज कहा गया है कि नोबल भी रहे और सेवेज भी रहा. ये नेचुरल स्टेट है. क्लियर? गुलफिरोज, गुड इवनिंग. आप ज्वाइन कर ली हैं क्लास? दैट्स ग्रेट. क्लियर? तो नोबल सेवेज, मैन इज बॉर्न फ्री एंड एवरीवेयर ही इज इन चेन. बैक टू नेचर, सोशल कॉन्ट्रैक्ट, एलायस, एमिली and Confessions. These are the works of Jean-Jacques Rousseau, who was a French philosopher and one of the founder member of the Romanticism as well as French Revolution. I hope now the points are clear. Then, and social contract के बाद back to nature क्या है? Rousseau's Back to Nature gospel was the most powerful regenerative force of the late 18th and of the 19th, one which turned the thought of Europe into new channels. There are few men in the history of modern times who have influenced the mind of the world as profoundly as Rousseau. बहुत कम लोग हुए हैं दुनिया में, बहुत कम फिलोसोफर है दुनिया में जिन्होंने इतना प्रभावित किया लोगों को जितना कि रूसो ने किया था. और रूसो पॉलिटिकल ही नहीं, he was in politics, he was a teacher, right? His gospel क्या होता है? Gospel का मतलब होता है उनके जो प्रवचन थे, right? Politics, education, religion, aesthetics, morals, literature, all were the impression of the ideas he proclaimed. जो ideas उन्होंने proclaim करी थी वो almost all spheres of life में one by one पाई जाती है. Back to nature. All right. This is the comment of one of his followers, one of his admirers. Right, Rousseau was the most influential philosophers of the world, and his thought influenced so many people across the world and across the culture, across the genre. Then you have the next philosopher, and his name is John Locke. John Locke is often classified as the first of the great English empiricists. Who is empiricist? An empiricist is one who thinks that all knowledge comes through experience. In fact, Francis Bacon is said to be the father of empirical philosophy. फ्रांसिस बेकन को empirical philosophy का father कहा जाता है, empiricist का father कहा जाता है, but it is John Locke who was the first of the great English empiricists, ignoring the claims of Thomas Hobbes and John Locke and Francis Bacon. This reputation rests on Locke's greatest work, the monumental An Essay Concerning Human Understanding. An essay concerning human understanding is in fact an essay written by Sir John Locke, where he divides the mind of the people, and in his brilliant 1589 work, An Essay Concerning Human Understanding, Locke argues that at birth the mind is a tabula rasa, a blank slate that we fill with ideas as we experience the world through the five senses. When a baby is born, when a baby is born, his mind is tabula rasa, nothing is printed over there. Whatever is printed learns through his experience, learns through his society. Right? Man is not predestined. Man is not predestined. In fact, man क्या है? Man is the creator of his world. Man learns everything from the society. Society is the best teacher. Family is the best teacher. और बुक से ज्ञान नहीं आता. ज्ञान कहाँ से आता है? ज्ञान आता है एक्सपीरियंस से. को empiricism कहा जाता है. कविता, imperialism is a post-colonial term that deals with the financial affairs. But here you have the term empiricism, और empiricism का मतलब होता है अनुभववाद. अनुभवजन्य ज्ञान जो है उसको empirical knowledge कहा जाता है. By idea, Locke means whatsoever is the object of the understanding when a person thinks. In other words, an idea is anything you experience or reflect on, and Locke's key point is we can only get such ideas from the senses. हमको ऐसी आइडियाज जो हैं कहाँ से मिलती हैं? हमको ऐसी आइडियाज, हाँ, इसकी स्पेलिंग बता दें कविता. ये उनका कंसेप्ट है टाबुला रसा. empiricism, let's suppose the mind to be, as we say, a tabula rasa, void of all characters, without any ideas. how comes it to be furnished? Whence comes it by that vast store which the busy and boundless fancy of man has painted on it with an almost endless variety? When has it all the materials of reason and knowledge? To this I answer in one word, from experience. हमारा माइंड क्या होता है, टाबुला रसा होता है. तो ये मैं पूछता हूँ कि तो इतना सारा ज्ञान है, आता कहाँ से है? सही गलत के बारे में उसे पता कहाँ से चलता है? हर चीज के बारे में उसे पता कहाँ से चलता है? तो क्या कहते हैं कि दिस to this I answer in one word, from experience. Whatever he knows through his experience. इसी को imperial, इसी को empiricism कहते हैं. Right? Whatever comes to the mind, how comes it to be furnished? ये furnish कैसे होता है? Whence comes it by that vast store which the busy and boundless fancy of man has painted on it with an almost endless variety? When has it all that materials of reason and knowledge? Reason and knowledge का material कहाँ से आता है? To this I say in one word, from experience. वो experience से आता है और कहीं. This is the spelling जो आप पूछ रहे थे. Knowledge comes from experience, and so by analyzing our experiences we will come to know the truth about reality. रियलिटी के बारे में पता कैसे चलेगा? जब हम एक्सपीरियंस से नॉलेज गेन करेंगे, हम उसको एनालाइज करेंगे, then we will come to know the truth about reality, and nothing should be asserted unless it can be rectified by experience. जब तक हम अपने एक्सपीरियंस से किसी चीज को जज न कर लें, तब तक हम असर्ट नहीं कर सकते. That is, before John Locke, there was another philosophy by other philosophers like Descartes, who believed in deductivism. But Mr. John Locke rejected the theory of Descartes and said that it is our experience that is the source of all knowledge. Before Locke, it was not empiricist theories of knowledge, but scholastic theories founded in rationalism that held sway. Rationalist का क्या argument था? Rationalist का argument ये है कि reason is the chief source and test of knowledge. Reason is the chief source and test of knowledge, not experience. Experience is nothing, logic is everything. Right? Logic से knowledge आता है. ये before Locke को मानने वाले scholastic philosophy के philosophers थे. Right? A key rationalist thinker was the 17th century French philosopher René Descartes. René Descartes एक scholastic philosopher थे और उनका ये मानना था कि reason is the source of all knowledge. John Locke rejected this theory and propounded his theory of empiricism. और जब empiricism आता है, experience आता है, खुद की feelings आती हैं, खुद का emotion आता है, उसी को romanticism कहा जाता है, उसी को romantic. Clear? Ajay, tabula rasa. There are several branches of philosophy. Is man a blank slate? Tabula rasa means blank slate. टेबलेट से बनाए, आजकल तो टेबलेट भी आ गए, उसी का एक प्रकार है. राइट? जिस पर आप लिखते थे ना बचपन में, टेबल पर, तख्ती जिसको कहते थे, स्लेट जिसे कहते थे, कोई टैबला है. टैबला रसा, दैट इज ब्लैंक स्लेट. ब्लैंक स्लेट मीन्स देयर इज नथिंग already printed of the mind. कुछ भी पहले से printed नहीं है. John Locke was empiricist. He believed that the man is a blank slate. And not only the empiricist John Locke, but the behaviorist John W. Watson also believed that when man is born, he is born without anything written in the mind. कुछ भी लिखा नहीं होता, वो blank slate है. The blank slate is the tabula rasa. The term tabula rasa is the Latin term. Latin term है, Latin से आया है, and in English it stands for blank slate. राइट, ये ब्लैंक स्लेट है. यहाँ पर आप देखिए, ये अजय मिश्रा जी हैं और ये खुदा ताहिर है ना. ये दो लोग हैं. अजय मिश्रा ने जब मिलिट्री की नौकरी ज्वाइन करी, देन ही वाज ट्रेन्ड हाउ टू फायर, कैसे फायर किया जाए ना. तो जो उन्होंने सीखा वो अपनी ट्रेनिंग से सीखा, वो उन्होंने अपने एक्सपीरियंस से सीखा. दैट इज knowledge, that is empiricism. Whatever you learn, आज आप इंग्लिश के स्टूडेंट हो, कुछ उर्दू के होंगे, कुछ मैथ्स के होंगे, कुछ फिलॉसफी के होंगे, अलग अलग सबका सब्जेक्ट होता है. क्यों हम सारी चीज लेते हैं? जब हम पैदा हुए थे ना, तो ना तो यहाँ पर इंग्लिश प्रिंटेड था, ना यहाँ पर मैथ्स, ना यहाँ पर कोई और लिटरेचर, ना यहाँ पर कोई और टेक्नोलॉजी. नथिंग वाज ओवर देयर. वी वर ट्रेन्ड in a particular subject. हमको सिखाया गया, we learned through our experiences. और जो experiential knowledge है, that is empiricism. वो empiricism है, इसको blank slate कहा. ये tabula rasa की pictures हैं, tabula rasa का example है. All right, now tabula rasa is fine. Anju, I hope tabula rasa is fine now. Tabula rasa means the blank slate of the mind, right? The blank slate of the mind argues that when a man is born, nothing is printed in the mind. He learns everything through his. वो अपने एक्सपीरियंस से चीजों को सीखता है. That is tabula. आज के अभी तक के क्लास का जो कंटेंट था, basically the name of the essay written by Burke. His concept of sublime, his concept of full, his concept of delightful heart. Then Rousseau's concept of social contract, his concept of back to nature, and his concept of man is born free and everywhere he. And then John Locke's concept of empiricism and his concept of it. If you have any problem regarding all these terms, you could ask here before I. Now I am giving a minute to ask you. टर्म्स आपके पेपर में आते हैं, ये टर्म्स की एक्सप्लेनेशन आपके पेपर, राइट, और इनके टर्म्स के कॉइनर्स कौन है, ये आपके पेपर. Edmund Burke, Rousseau, John Locke, and then the next taper of Romantic period was a revolution that took place in 1709, and that revolution is called French. That revolution is called French Revolution. That took place in 1700. And फ्रेंच रिवॉल्यूशन, फ्रांस में रिवॉल्यूशन होता है. एंड बिफोर द फ्रेंच रिवॉल्यूशन, फ्रांस वाज आल्सो इन चेन. फ्रांस वाज struggling with the reign of terror, with the tyranny. And in 1789, the tyrannical government was thrown away by the common. Right, like the common people, like the romantic poets threw away the formula given by the neoclassical periods, in the same way the French people, इन्होंने क्या किया? They torn the dictatorship of the, and they revolted against their king. Right, fall of Bastille. Bastille was the name of a jail. राइट, फॉल ऑफ बास्टिल होता है एंड फ्रेंच रिवॉल्यूशन वाज बेस्ड ऑन थ्री टर्म्स: इक्वालिटी, लिबर्टी एंड फ्रेटर्निटी. The reign of equality, the reign of fraternity, and the reign of liberty was established in 89 after the first. And almost all the important living poets, philosophers of the time visited the place where the revolution had taken place, and even Wordsworth wrote, "This was it in that dawn to be alive, but to be young was very heaven." He is referring French Revolution when he visited France for the first time on the first anniversary of the French Revolution in in 17. And the first older generation of the romantic poets, Coleridge, Robert Southey, Sir Walter Scott, William Wordsworth, were very much influenced from the French Revolution. इससे influence थे, though it was a dream only. Within a decade एक और रेन शुरू होता है जिसको रेन ऑफ टेरर कहा जाता है, और जो एक भूमिका बनी थी, जो हालुसिनेशन हुआ था पोएट्स का, बहुत जल्दी वो टूट भी जाता है, ब्रेक भी कर जाता है. बट फ्रेंच रिवॉल्यूशन inspired a lot of poets of the first decade of the romantic period, and almost all of them wrote poems on French revolution, on equality and fraternity. Equality means the language of the poetry should be very simple so that everybody could understand it. The poet should take the raw material for the poetry from the common man. Right? Common man must be talked about in poetry. Now, there is no sophistication in poetry, no urban class in poetry, but common people. And French Revolution का main motto था to establish the rule. Right, so it also one of those sources of romantic period. French Revolution भी था. You just see the background picture here. The people of France who demolished the building Bastille, जिसको बोलते हैं fall of Bastille 1709. Fall of Bastille was a symbol of terror. It was a jail. It was a symbol of captivation. It was a symbol of kept. Right, kept किया गया था यहाँ पे लोगों को, and they all were liberated. सबको वहां से liberation मिल जाती है on the ground of liberty, equality, and right, liberty, equality, and fraternity ground पर. This was it in that dawn to be alive, but to be young was very heaven. And this is the statue of a statue of liberty है. So it was not only political liberty, social liberty, individual liberty, and political liberty, equality on all. Right, equality in all spheres of life. हर जगह पर equality भी होनी. Right, common men के लिए revolution से inspired होकर के, right, the French Revolution played a very vital and important role in the making of romantic age, in the making of romantic. All right, Susan? No confusion? Pakka? Should we proceed? Yes, Ajay. Absolutely. I do agree with you. Immanuel Kant's The Critique of Pure Reason. Immanuel Kant's The Critique of Pure Reason was also one of the sources, one of the inspirations, one of the roots of romanticism. Immanuel Kant, David Hume, David Hume's philosophy of association, associationist theory, जहाँ से सैमुअल टेलर कॉलरिज का फैंसी एंड इमेजिनेशन का आता है, they were also behind the movement of romanticism movement के behind ये लोग. Clear? Okay, fine. And from here, from this point, after the philosophers and philosophies of the romantic age, we come to where? And yesterday we talked about the romantic movement. We discussed the romantic movement length, and we discussed the neoclassical movement as well, and the difference between the neoclassical and the, it was a revolt against the neoclassical school century literature का movement था, but in politics वो French Revolution, right? Neoclassical literature, romantic classical writing versus romantic, and then romantic, right? Then romantic poetry, and the romantic poetry and Wordsworth's philosophy of poetry, Wordsworth's theory of poetry will be discussed in Wordsworth's philosophy of poetry will be discussed in the next class, and not only Wordsworth's philosophy of poetry but the romantic idea of poetry. और उसमें हम बात किस किस की करेंगे? उसमें हम बात करेंगे वर्ड्सवर्थ के फिलॉसफी ऑफ पोएट्री की, उनके थियोरी ऑफ पोएट्री की बात करेंगे, पीवी शैली के डिफेंस ऑफ पोएट्री की बात करेंगे, सैमुअल टेलर कॉलरिज के इज्म प्लास्टिक की बात करेंगे, फैंसी एंड इमेजिनेशन की बात करेंगे, उनके विलिंग सस्पेंशन ऑफ डिसबिलीफ की बात करेंगे, सब बात करेंगे, और फिर वर्ड्सवर्थ की बात करेंगे एज अ पोएट, और फिर उनके वन बाय वन. ऑलराइट, आई होप यू वुड हैव एंजॉयड टुडेज सेशन. और अगर कुछ कंफ्यूजन डाउट रह गया होगा, नेक्स्ट क्लास विल फॉर यू एंड यू विल बी फ्री टू आस्क योर. इक्वालिटी, लिबर्टी. My class is totally democratic class, और totally democratic class है. Anybody can ask anything, but that should not go beyond the topic. चाहे टॉपिक से बाहर नहीं, कुछ भी आप पूछ सकते हो. And if you have still not downloaded, you could download the application from the given link and you could directly for further. Thank you. All the best. And one more information. Keep on solving the question papers that I provide you on. I am giving you the PYQs of UGC Net. PYQs of UGC Net in the free content section. You can download the application. You can go to the free content, and in free content you can click the test, and in the test you could find all the questions in question answer format. Right? All the best. Good luck. Bye bye. Take care.